Hey, this is Natasha Nurse. I'm the lifestyle editor for Plus Model Magazine, and I'm really excited to be speaking with Annette Richmond. She is a California born fashion stylist, writer, digital nomad, and creator of Fat Girls Traveling. Along with her blog, she's a contributor at Pop Sugar, Ravishly, and The Fat Girls Guide. She's been featured in many publications, including Teen Vogue, Allure, Self, Shape, Elle UK, The Mic, Refinery 29, Hello Giggles, and Yahoo Style. She's a self proclaimed fat girl. Richmond is a staunch supporter of the body positive movement, and she's worked in the fashion industry for over 10 years. And she's really excited to see a change happening in the plus size industry. But by no means does she think that there's an equal playing field. So she's definitely a voice for fat fashionistas. From dressing top models and celebrities to trend and color forecasting, she's had every imaginable job in the fashion industry. Her work has been seen in music videos, magazines, and on the red carpet. She's also a senior fashion stylist at Stitch Fix and has styled thousands of women. Traveling is her latest obsession, and she's visited 18 countries in the last 3 years and writes about her adventures as a fat Black woman traveling the world. She, again, is also a voice for fat travelers. So, without further ado, how are you, Annette?
I'm doing great, Natasha. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And you have such an amazing background. Like, I would love just for you to share with the Plus Model Magazine family, like, how did you get started with being so, I guess, present in media and being a voice for fat fashionistas and fat travelers?
Well, I started by attending the Fashion Institute in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to LA just right after high school and got an associate's degree in product development.
Mm-hmm.
And just being in LA, having the opportunity to meet different designers, kind of being in the mix in a big city, I was able to work for different brands, work, on Melrose for different designers,
Wow.
and kind of get my feet wet in the fashion industry there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I started with like styling and doing, videos and meeting people and styling celebrities for red carpet events and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then after about 5 years in LA, I decided that I'm originally from Northern California. I decided that I'd rather go back up north and still work in the industry, but not be around the hustle and bustle so much. LA just wasn't for me. And so
Mm-hmm.
even when I was in the Bay Area, I was, wholesale manager for a designer and a buyer for a boutique. And so I have a lot of different experience from buying to, running a boutique to working with celebrities to styling and doing photo shoots and fashion show production.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of how I started just getting, diving in head first in LA.
Okay. So, and then you started in LA doing both plus size and straight size, or starting with straight size?
Well, when I worked in LA, I was doing like dressing models and that kind of stuff for
Mm-hmm.
major fashion shows. So it was like I worked for Chanel and, Gucci.
Oh.
It's like I didn't work for them. I did fashion shows, so I was behind the scene dressing the models and doing like, steaming the garments. Like you start from the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, those brands don't really have, full plus size clothing. But
Mm-hmm.
I was a plus size girl in college, and so I was definitely looking into ways like for these designers to potentially expand. I remember doing a report on how to expand like the Marc Jacobs brand to plus sizes and what that
Mm.
would take and how that would look. So that was something that I remember doing in college, knowing that there wasn't a ton of options for us, especially, with the higher end designers. Like I remember going into the Louis Vuitton store on Rodeo and them telling me that there was nothing in my size there, you know.
Mm.
Like you just walk in and they're just like, there's nothing in your size,
Wow.
so it wasn't always a great experience, but it was an opportunity to kind of see the industry from the inside and
Mhm.
figure out how I could change it from as an outsider.
Gotcha. Okay. And what brings us together in this moment is a new venture that you are, or a newer venture rather, that you are engaging in. So, would you like to share a little bit more about that?
Sure, yeah. I'm super excited that I'm going to be hosting the first ever body positive, fat camp this summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be in North Carolina, and it is kind of an extension of my group Fat Girls Traveling. I kind of wanted to create an experience for the members, but also
Mm-hmm.
open it up to plus size women, fat women, however you would like to describe yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Open it up to the plus size community to kind of get outside of their comfort zone a little bit, do something a little bit different than like, the pool parties and the fashion shows that we usually do, and break out of that, come to the country, enjoy nature, do some yoga. Like we're definitely going to
Mm-hmm.
turn up, like there's going to be happy hour and we're going to be dancing and it's going to be lit now. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I wanted to do something a little nostalgic and kind of take us back to our days of gone, our days of
Mm-hmm.
before when we were children and things were simpler and all you cared about was arts and crafts and making friendship bracelets and that kind of stuff.
Aw.
And then yeah, I feel like it's just nice to be able to go back there, but then also, talk about the issues and talk about, self-love and
Mm,
self-care and making space, finding a space for ourselves in this world that doesn't really cater to us and doesn't cater to our
mhm,
size. So I'm
mhm,
super excited that there's some other influencers that people, may have heard of. Sarah from Curvily,
mhm,
Liz from PS It's Fashion, Ashley from I Am Fabulous is her Instagram
mhm,
handle. And we also have a beauty queen. We have the Miss North Carolina plus size going to be sharing not only about like being a beauty queen, but it's also about like putting yourself out there to be judged because I feel like as plus size women, as fat women, a lot of the things that keep us from, fully realizing who we are is just that fear of judgment. And I feel all
mm,
women, all people have that fear of judgment. The bottom
mhm,
line is people are going to judge you. We judge others. It's just human
mhm,
nature. But I feel Ashley really brings something special to the table because she not only accepts that she's going to be judged, but she asks for it and she
mm,
receives a crown sometimes for doing it. And I feel like that takes something a little special. And so we're going to be talking about fashion, self esteem, travel, and
mhm,
like I said, just living it up, doing arts and crafts and yoga and paddle boarding and pool parties and
mhm.
happy hour. Like it's going to be a really fun time. So I'm super excited about Fat Camp.
Very cool. Now, did you camp a lot as a child or, as a teenager?
Well, yeah, when I was a kid, I have a single parent mom.
Mhm,
I grew up in a single parent home. And so during the summertime, it was summertime, my mom didn't really know what to do with us because she had to continue working full time. And so my
mm,
brothers and I did go to summer camp as kids, and it was a great opportunity just to kind of gain some independence, to kind of be in a situation where you don't really know anyone, where you have to make friends. You're forced to kind of be outside of your comfort zone, away from your friends from home, away from the things that you're comfortable with. And I feel like that kind of really set me up to be able to travel as much as I do and to travel solo because I kind of feel comfortable making friends, making new friends in countries all over the world. So I feel
mhm,
like some of the skills that I got as a traveler I got from going to summer camp. And honestly, summer camp was some of the best years of my life. And I just want to be able
mm,
to offer that to other people. Some people may have not had the best camp experiences, or some people may have never been to summer camp. So this is
mhm,
an opportunity to kind of get a redo or a first
mhm,
try in a safe space where people look like you and appreciate what you're going through and your body is celebrated.
mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I love the idea because personally, I never camped as a child. My parents were like, no, no, we're Jamaican, no. And I was like, that's like not a real answer, but okay. Thanks for that, guys. And then secondly, yeah, like being plus size my entire life and you know how children are bullied and attacked for, anything and everything in this country. I didn't even think it would have yielded a really great result because of, some of the things even on TV, right? They showed camp And sometimes it was good, right? But then it also showed that maybe it wasn't so good. But overall, it sounds like you had an amazing time and that you're now kind of offering it for adults, which is, it's nice to kind of be able to take some time and kind of relive or live something that you didn't experience the first time. So could you share more details on like the dates and also what, like kind of a little bit more essentially on the process of how someone signs up and finds more about it?
Totally, yeah. So the dates are August 24th to August 27th, and that's a Friday to a Monday. There is an option to do Friday to Sunday, and
Mm,
an option to do Friday to Monday for people who have a little bit more flexibility in their schedule. And there
mm-hmm,
are two price points for those two options. And there's also a payment plan because I know that budgeting is really important. And sometimes affording something all at once is not really an option, even for me, for everyone.
mm-hmm,
So I wanted to make sure that it was affordable. I wanted to make sure there was a payment plan option. And if people have some flexibility to stay until the 27th, that is an opportunity.
and what has been the
One of the VICs, Liz Black, is really open about, her self-love road and how she, overcame an eating disorder and how she's like constantly working on her like mental health and self-care. And she's super transparent about that on her blog and in her social media. And I think that that's something that's really important to share and to be kind of vulnerable about and transparent.
mm-hmm,
And I think that she's going to bring something really like open and healing to Fat Camp.
mm-hmm,
I'm also super excited that I reached out to the ladies of Fatitude, and they're going to allow
mm,
me to do a screening of Fatitude at Fat Camp. And so
yes,
one of the days for one of the workshops, we're going to watch Fatitude and then have like a discussion about it in a group format. And like I said, nothing is mandatory. Like I want people to be able to, if they want to rest, if they want to take a nap or whatever, be able to do them. But there are going to be activities all day for people to, do when they want to.
mm-hmm,
Every night, like I said, there's going to be a delicious dinner. There's going to be happy hour. And then there's going to be one night where there's like a movie night where we have like fresh made popcorn and we can wear our pajamas and just kind of relax. And then every night there's going to be a campfire. I want there to be like a campfire and s'mores and people just kind of like, winding down the day over a campfire because I feel like that's the
mm.
epitome of summer camp. And I feel like you'll just be able to snuggle in bed and sleep so well after a couple s'mores and, chopping it up with your girlfriends.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And just to clarify, is this primarily only available to girls, like women, and is it only available to plus size women?
Yes, it's girls only. We are open to trans and non-binary people as well.
Mm-hmm. Good.
But sorry, go ahead.
No, I was like, good. That's awesome.
Yeah, and just as my Fat Girls Traveling Facebook group, like we do have some trans and non-binary people in the group,
Mm-hmm.
and we're super open to that. However, I am, gonna be exclusive to Fat Girls. Like I want this to be a place where people can go and connect with other people that look like them, where we don't have to be afraid that someone's watching what we're eating and judging us over how many servings we're having, or
Mm-hmm.
someone's judging you about, getting short of breath or whatever the situation might be. Like I want it to be an equal playing field. I don't The one thing that I'm super proud about with my Fat Girls Traveling Facebook group is that it's not catty. I will not allow it, and so I want Fat Camp to be an extension of that where people are supportive and cheering each other on. I want it to be all about collaboration and not competition,
Mm-hmm.
and just supporting each other just as a sisterhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in that way, I think that it's important for me to keep it exclusive to plus size, fat, curvy women.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and, like I said, women in general or trans, non binary people.
I love it. Okay. And for people like myself who have never, camped and was restricted to concrete jungle of Manhattan growing up, what would you say to someone who's never had this experience? Like, are there certain things that they would need to like get trained on, or you provide all the instruction for like some of the things you're talking about, like tubing? Like I've heard that terminology, but I've never like
I've heard of
done
this
it.
thing
Like
called tubing. Yeah. Well, you won't really need any instruction. I will say that it is a summer camp, so it is going to be campy. We're not going to be like camping outside. There's cabins and,
hmm.
there's mattresses and everything. It's a pretty big campground, and I've made it so that everyone can be on a bottom bunk. There
Nice.
are going to be people who want the top bunk, which is fine, but I've made it available so that everyone who wants a bottom bunk can have a bottom bunk, so you don't have to worry about climbing up any bunk beds or anything like that. I know for some that's a fear. I personally don't love the top bunk myself.
Hmm.
And with tubing, basically what it is there's like a boat in front of you pulling a tube, you know? So you're literally just
Oh,
holding on to the
okay.
tube, and there's a boat pulling you in the lake, and it's like the best time of your life because you're holding on for dear life, and then you fall into the water, and then you're laughing, and then the boat comes back around, and you have to somehow
Oh,
get yourself back on this tube so that you can continue to get pulled and get splashed and just have a great time. So tubing super fun. There's
okay.
kayaks here, there's stand-up paddle boarding. I'm actually better on my knees with paddle boarding.
Hmm.
But there's so many different activities. Like I said, a water trampoline, and of course, there's like tennis and knuckleball and cornhole and volleyball. Like there's a bunch of land sports, basketball. So people can feel free to get involved in any of those land sports. But
Okay.
for things like tubing and the water activities, the pool, I am gonna have like trained staff there. So yeah, there's opportunities to get involved in a lot of different fun things. To kind of go on your own if you want to do some hiking on the campgrounds. There's going to be yoga every morning. So it's going to be a nice way to just kind of get in touch with yourself, have some one on one time with yourself, but also open up and meet other people who are at a similar place in their life.
I love it, and it sounds really amazing and something very unique. And I like the idea of like you're saying that like one-on-one time with yourself, but also connecting on on a deeper level with a lot of the you said VICs is is that what you
Yeah,
call them?
the VIC. Yeah.
Very important campers. Everyone
Yeah.
listening, get to know our very important campers. So I think that's awesome. I guess just my last question would be, if you were to make like a PSA about that camp, right? Like, what would you say?
I would say in my PSA that Fat Camp is an opportunity for plus size, curvy, fat women to connect over s'mores and self love. It's going to be a
Mm,
time to, walk down memory lane and, roll in the nostalgia of yesteryear with all the fun camp activities. But it's also an opportunity to get to know yourself on a deeper level with conversations about size acceptance, diet culture, and a really impactful screening of Fatitude.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And for everyone listening, if you are dying to have some camp in your life, this is for you. And just again, share the website and the best way that people can get in touch with you.
Yeah, so to get any more information on Fat Camp, you would go to fatgirlstraveling.com and just select the Fat Camp tab. My
Hmm.
blog is From Annette with Love, and the website is fromannette.com. You can follow Fat Girls Traveling on Instagram. It's at Fat Girls Traveling. And that's basically the Instagram for the group and for Fat Camp and all that stuff. Or you can follow me on Instagram at From Annette with Love, and those are all the ways that you can get in touch with me and just reach out. Their social media, I'm there all the time. I always respond, and I would love to answer any questions or concerns that you have about Fat Camp or travel in general. Like that's kind of my number one thing. I feel that traveling is a good way to break outside of your comfort zone. And some people can't travel internationally, and so I thought that Fat Camp would be a great opportunity to travel domestically, but also get that experience of getting out of your comfort zone, because I feel like that's how you learn the most about yourself, is when you challenge yourself and put yourself in an unknown situation. You learn so much about yourself. You learn about your strength and your weaknesses, and you
Mm-hmm.
grow.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And who doesn't want to grow and get better at, this thing we called life, right? So I think it's really exciting. I think a part of me is very exhilarated. A part of me is also like, I don't think I have enough bug spray, but like because
Is there ever enough bug spray
I
at camp?
know, right? Like it's I have like I get bad reactions to mosquitoes, but I'm sure that you guys have that have that handled. But I think it's exhilarating, and I think the idea of, like you were saying, like camping with people that look like you, that think like you, that just sounds really comforting, and just I think it's going to be a wonderful bonding experience. So I'm so grateful that to hear your story, to speak with you, and thank you for what you're doing. This is amazing, and thanks for sharing your story with the Plus Model Magazine family.
Thank you so much, Natasha. Thank you for having me. I have been a fan of Plus Model Magazine for years, and I'm super excited that you guys even thought to consider having me on the show and to talk about all the things that I'm working on. And I'm super excited for Fat Camp, and just look out because there's so much more to come.